Academy of Art University's KR News is next. Coming up, in the light of the tragic earthquake in Nepal, one thing you might want to know now in the Bay Area before a big one hits here.
Android versus iPhone. We take the battle of smartphones out to the street.
An inside look at a place in San Francisco where you can do your laundry, have a meal, and watch a comedy routine all at the same time.
Plus, you've either got it or you don't. That's the trend that put the curve back into fashion. All that and more coming up on KART News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's KART News. I'm Vianney Austin.
And I'm Connor Smith. Here's what we're following for tonight.
The news coming out of the Nepal just keeps getting worse with international rescue and relief efforts underway. The 6.7 aftershock this past Sunday added to the damage that was already caused by a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. Early estimates are that more than 4,000 people have been killed. It's still not known how many are hurt. The huge quake terrified the citizens of Nepal and reduced tall buildings to the rubble. The quake also created fatal avalanches at the Mount Everest base camp. Mass cremations are being held for the victims in the capital city of Kathmandu. California is joining us in the recovery effort, sending a team of 57 urban search and rescue workers to Nepal. The team is equipped with search dogs, cameras, and sonar to help locate other earthquake victims. In another local tie, Google executive Dan Fredenberg died during the massive avalanches on Mount Everest. Although he was considered an experienced climber, he was no match for the giant avalanche that swept through base camp. 2 other Google employees were also on the mountain with Fredenberg. They are expected to survive.
Do you have earthquake insurance? The devastating earthquake in Nepal should be a wake-up call for people living in the Bay Area. KART News reporter Whitley Sandretto has more on the why you should consider getting insurance.
There's no doubt San Francisco is a beautiful city with stunning views, architecture, and great people. There's always something to do and people on the go. There's no city like it, but unfortunately, one of the risks people take living in the Bay Area is earthquakes. The San Andreas Fault runs right through San Francisco, putting many people in the Bay Area at risk. And that is even more of a concern now that the U.S. Geological Service released their findings in a new study that showed some branches within the San Andreas Fault system are locked, meaning that major earthquakes could be coming soon.
I don't know, it kind of makes me nervous because earthquakes could happen at any moment and there's no way to really prepare for them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when the next one's gonna hit.
So why is it that so many people in California don't have earthquake insurance?
Well, I just moved here shortly after the Napa earthquake. So I don't know. I looked into it and I think it's a little too expensive for me. So I think I'm just gonna take my chances on that.
While a lot of people can't afford it, many don't even know they're not covered. They think it's covered in their homeowner's policy, but it's not. Even though the risk is high, roughly only 12% of homeowners in California have earthquake insurance. Other California residents think it just won't happen to them, but the U.S. Geological Service is saying that it could happen at any time, maybe even sooner rather than later. In San Francisco, I'm Whitley Sandretto for Academy of Art University's KART News.
If you would like to find out more about earthquake insurance, you should check with your local insurance provider.
Shalijosis, or Shalija, has hit San Francisco's homeless people especially hard. It's a bacterial infection causing diarrhea. It spreads easily from person to person, usually through contaminated food or water. News reports show that it's spreading among the homeless people living on the streets rather quickly. There have been more than 200 cases in the city since November. The infection spreads among the homeless quickly from living off the streets. Public health officials are concerned about the community and will be passing out small sanitizers to people living outdoors who may not have access to clean running water. It's a growing concern because new research is showing that some strains have become resistant to antibiotics. Homeless veterans in the Bay Area have something to look forward to. Just in San Francisco, they are being promised $1.8 million per year from the federal government. That money will go to creating 111 rooms for veterans to live in. More funding is on the way. The Veterans Administration and the mayors of San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose all got together for a summit to discuss all this and more.
If you don't count on riding ferry boats in the Bay Area, get set for a new rate hike. K-Art News reporter James O'Malley explains how this will all work.
Those who commute via the blue waves of the Bay might be seeing a little less green in their pockets after the San Francisco Bay Ferry announced its fare schedule for the next 5 years, with prices on almost all trips going up 3% annually. The San Francisco Bay Water Emergency Transportation Authority, which runs the ferry service, says the increases are to counter inflation as well as rising labor and fuel costs. For riders here in Alameda Harbor Bay, a standard ride will go up $1 from $6.50 to $7.50 over the next 5 years, while those using Clipper cards will only see an increase of 70 cents. For riders on the San Francisco-Oakland-Alameda route, a standard ticket will go from $6.25 to $7.20, with the Clipper card fare increasing 65 cents. There is some good news. Passengers 18 years old and younger will now be eligible for a youth fare, which was previously limited only to those 12 and under. I spoke to one frequent ferry rider who told me he wasn't too concerned with the fare hike.
I take the ferry into the city probably once a week, and the extra few cents is going to add up, but still a good deal for a cruise across the water.
Multi-trip ticket books and monthly passes have already begun to be phased out, with frequent riders urged to switch to paying with Clipper cards, which offers discounts of more than $1 per ride. This fare increase program does not include ferries headed to and from AT&T Park, although those two are expected to rise starting next year as well. In contrast, BART have recently announced plans to raise their fares every 2 years, with an average price increase of 3.4% starting in January 2016.
Now, it's going up, but not as much as everything else in the Bay Area.
In Alameda, I'm James O'Malley for the Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
San Francisco Bay ferries serve 6 different Bay Area cities, and that number is expected to double in the next decade.
Gas prices are yet again on the rise in California, going up 17 cents this week. Demands tend to rise around Memorial Day and over the summer months, leading to prices going up, as well as in addition to that, 3 refineries are offline right now making repairs. Gas is more expensive in California than other states because of higher taxes and a unique blend of gasoline that reduces air pollution. And because the blend is different, California can't rely on outside supplies when the fuel supply is low.
In the next 4 years, Californians may be paying more for electricity. And if they use less, yes, that's right, you heard it correctly, California Public Utilities Commission is making a proposal which would allow power companies to cut pricing tiers from the 4 to just 2. That could mean a 20% difference in your bill starting this summer. Customers will have to pay a minimum monthly cost of $10 and $5 for low-income users. The goal is to put new pricing into effect by 2019. Drought, drought, drought. Every day we hear about the drought, yet we waste gallons of water ourselves. That's not the problem. However, the city's the problem. 60-year-old sprinklers run wild in Golden Gate Park, and complaints of wasting water on washing streets, stairways, and sidewalks are of huge concern. City council officials are looking into retrofitting the landscape in certain areas with AstroTurf. And now for more on the drought and climate change, Cody Young gives us his opinion on the climate change debate.
California is in a state of dry weather. For the last several years, we have seen less and less snowpack, reservoirs drying up, lakes turn into deserts, and people's lives change forever. The reality is this: climate change is leaving us clues everywhere to get it together. Our snowpack, with just 5% of its normal level, means California faces its first wave of statewide water restriction for the first time in its history. It's easy to ignore the scale of climate change, but the reality is steps need to be made now. Switching from fossil fuels to renewable ones, using more environmentally friendly goods is another. There are things that can be done and only we can do them. But it all starts with the acceptance of climate change reality. After all, denial is the first step.
Thanks, Cody. According to the Pew Research Center, 25% of the American public believes climate change is not real.
Google is now providing wireless cell phone plans as part of Project Fi. They announced plans to provide wireless service to T-Mobile and Sprint customers using the new Net 6 phones. Google is offering customers a chance to buy data plans for as low as $10 a month. Customers who purchase more data will be credited the amount they don't use. The Apple Watch has only been available to the public for a week, but already there's talk about improvement users can soon expect. App developers were quick to point out that their apps were all developed without ever having actually used the watch. Now that developers actually have a chance to work with the watch, they say you can expect to see several improvements in the next couple of weeks.
Choosing the right phone can be stressful, especially when you can't decide between an Android or an iPhone. Reporter Whitley Sandretto looked into it and got opinions from both Android and iPhone users.
It's 2015 and smartphones are smarter and hotter than ever. From tourists taking pictures and videos of their adventure on a cable car to phone calls and text messaging, you're more than likely to see someone with a smartphone. But the real question here is Android or iPhone? Both the iPhone 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S5 are very similar and about the same size. But what is so different about these two phones? I asked Team Android and Team iPhone for their opinions.
I have a Samsung Galaxy S5. I think the camera is really great. How big it is, if it was like a really small phone, I would probably lose it, so I love its size. I love being able to download music whenever I want to for free. So those are pretty much my favorite things about it, and just being able to download apps, games, songs on it, whenever I want to.
Android also has a voice assistant similar to Siri, but it can be activated hands-free.
And it's actually hands-free, so you don't have to hold a button while talking. So for example, I'll show you. Okay, Google, who has the best phone, Team iPhone or Team Android? And then it'll pop up.
It's obvious Kwani is Team Android, but San Francisco State student Dylan Lawson didn't have as good of an experience with Android and is Team iPhone.
It froze a lot, the battery died quick, nothing really worked well, so it kind of got annoying. Until I got onto the iPhone, and the iPhone just worked just fine, and I could have the phone for 3 to 4 years and it just still works fine, and I don't have to worry about anything else.
It's hard to tell if one is actually better than the other. It's just a matter of opinion. In San Francisco, I'm Whitley Sandretto reporting for KART News.
Although Samsung's market continues to grow, Apple still sells the most smartphones.
The Golden State Warriors became the first team to reach the second round of the NBA playoffs after a first-round sweep of the New Orleans Pelicans. Klay Thompson put up 25 points and Draymond Green finished the game with 22 points. Green also grabbed 10 rebounds and had 8 assists. It was the Warriors' first sweep of a 7-game series since the team won the NBA title in 1975. The first game of the next series this weekend. Here's Kizzle with today's update on the Urban Knights.
The Knights are always showing up and showing out. For 4 Urban Knights, Saturday was the end of 4 years of hard work and the results were memorable. Softball swept Notre Dame Dayton Muir out at Mission Bluefield, playing with the memory of fallen teammate Brianna Williams in their hearts. The senior class, Haley McDonald, Camille Glover, Jasmine Dickinson, and Taylor Thurman led their team to take out the Argonauts. With stellar pitching performances from freshman Brenna Mitchell and sophomore Alexa Peters were also keys to this conference win. In baseball, Hawaii Pacific found success Saturday with only one remaining, scoring of 16 with 2 outs and sweeping a Pacific West Conference baseball doubleheader from Academy of Art University scores of 11-2 and 12-0. The Sharks out-hit the Urban Knights 28-11 and scored in 14 of 16 turns at bat during the twin bill. Academy of Art collected 11 hits of its own, but stranded 10 runners and was only able to put up 2 runs on the boards in the 9th inning of the game. At Cal Berkeley this past weekend, the meet included Kiana Moody's season best in the 400 meters and Kaylin Harbison's new program record in the 800 meters. Contending with runners from the University of Texas El Paso and UC Davis, Moody dropped down to a 54.37 in the 400-meter dash, finishing 4th of 13. Though not of her personal best, it is her top time this season and puts her 7th in the country in the NCAA Division II. Harbison was on top of her game in the women's 800-meter, going 2:14.91 after battling a Sacramento State heavy section. The mark was a new personal record, improving upon her previous PR, which came at the end of last outdoor season. In the 4x4, the race of the combination of Mystic Scott Moody, Shea Graham, and Shantae Sneed produced a 3:45 time that put them second only to Kansas State, who went 3:37, but ahead of teams Cal and UC Davis. The mark improves the program's NCAA provisional qualifier, putting them among the country's top 10.
This weekend, I was very proud of myself and my relay team, and I feel with these next few weeks ahead of us that we'll be able to have a really good time for nationals.
Seasons are wrapping up, and I wish the Knights the best of luck in their upcoming tournaments and final competitions.
Thanks, Kayla. Now we go to Matt Seska, who has it with the Academy of Arts men's basketball player. He's come a long way from his roots in a rough neighborhood.
How's it going? I'm Matt Seska, and I'm here with Academy of Arts men's basketball's Marshawn McMahon. Now, you're from Compton.
Yes.
And what was that like growing up in Compton?
Honestly, growing up, it was rough. A lot of drugs, violence, and gangs, but I seemed to beat the odds and find my way out of that statistic, and it was all influenced by basketball and the people around me, like my mother and my father and some family.
Okay, so. Now you spoke about it a little bit, but how did you use basketball as a tool to like steer you in the right direction?
Honestly, when people were going out and partying and out late nights with their friends, I was in the gym, and because I always had a key to this park called Wilson Park in Compton, located in Compton, and I would just go in there and get some shots up whenever I felt like stressed or whenever, like I said, people want to go out and party, I would go the other way and go get some shots up.
All right, now a cool fact that I know about you is DeMar DeRozan is one of your cousins.
Yeah.
Was he able to help you and like steer you in the right direction or like as a role model?
Yes, DeMar DeRozan from the Toronto Raptors is my cousin, and 9th grade, it's a long story, I'm gonna make it short. 9th grade, he was a 12th grader, I was in the 9th grade, and he always pushed me. So in the morning before class, before school even started at 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll be in the gym. And after class, around 4 or 5, we'll be in the gym getting shots up. So he was one of the main influences in my life, him and another gentleman named Lorenzo McLeod.
Okay, now I'm going to stay on basketball but switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Being on the Academy of Art men's team,
right.
You guys just finished spring workouts.
Yeah.
How was that overall experience?
Honestly, this offseason, it was kind of different from last offseason because we focused more on fundamentals and getting our footing right as far as like defense and making sure we keep our body straight, and like when we shoot our jump shot, we land straight up and straight down. So Coach Julius Barnes took over this spring offseason, but last season it was his brother. But I mean, they're both good, but this one was kind of better in a sense.
Okay, now were you working on anything specifically to add to your game to improve for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I was working on making sure I use my body more because I'm kind of skinny, you can see, but getting around the defender, using my body and making sure I draw contact first. So it was a lot of that and making sure I stayed on balance with my footwork and, like I said, going straight up and straight down on my jump shot.
Okay, now as a team, do you feel like you guys made a good overall improvement this offseason?
Yes, I definitely do, because as a team, this was our first year all playing together, so it was like kind of new for everybody, and we're still young. So we have a lot of maturing to do, but yes, I honestly feel next year will be a whole different year. It'll be better.
All right, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. We're just about out of time now, so thank you, Marshawn, for joining us.
All right.
And I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt and Marshawn, for that inspirational interview. Well, it's official. The Anyway, the Super Bowl is coming to the Bay Area in 2016. San Francisco's Justin Herman Plaza will be the home of Super Bowl 50's Fan Village. Super Bowl City is a free event offering free food and drinks to fans of all ages. The pre-party will kick off January 30th and runs through the end of the Super Bowl. Justin Herman Plaza is located on the easternmost stretch of Market Street, across from the Ferry Building.
After much anticipation, Olympic gold medalist Bruce Jenner recently sat down with Diane Sawyer in his very first interview after speculation of a possible gender change. He spoke candidly. He shared that this not at all a publicity stunt and that dressing in women's clothing has been part of his life since the age of 9. He first shared the idea of becoming a woman with his ex-wife Christy Jenner. The 2-hour special also featured an interview from Bruce's son Brody Jenner, who is in full support of his dad. Bruce does admit to cosmetic surgery and to have taken hormone pills, but does not plan on any other surgeries at this time. The University of Texas at Austin has done a recent study on men's preference for women with a large behind. KR News reporter Quinlan Wright has more.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
Men are showing a preference for women who pack a little more on their behinds. The University of Texas at Austin discovered that men show a preference for women who have a 45.5-degree curve from back to butt. A good example to show this body type would be the one and only Kim Kardashian. Her curvaceous body is what she is known for. I got to speak with a friend of mine who works in matchmaking.
It's actually quite bizarre. Most men who seek my help request women who are smart, funny, blah blah, and of course have a nice butt. You know how that song goes, my anaconda don't want nothing unless you got buns, son. The new obsession is thigh gaps and a glamorous booty.
Psychology professor David Buss from the University of Texas Austin claims this research is fascinating because it scientifically illustrates a close fit between a sex-differentiated feature of human morphology, in this case, lumbar curvature, and an evolved standard of attractiveness.
So, what do men prefer? Curvy Kim Kardashian or slim chick Kate Moss?
Kim Kardashian. She's bad, that's why.
Kim Kardashian. She got them curves.
If I could, I'd try to put them both together, but if I had to make a choice, I'd choose Kate Moss. I'm a sucker for blondes.
Women have evolved wedging in their third to last lumbar vertebrae to help shift the mass of pregnancy over their hips. The research done by the University of Texas Austin concluded that men evolved a sensitivity to cues to lumbar wedging as a part of regulating mating attraction. In San Francisco, I'm Quinlan Wright for the Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
I guess this means we women have to do more squats.
Quinlan is back with this week's entertainment. I've heard there is much to see in this upcoming month.
Thanks, Connor. What movie do you recommend to watch, you may ask? Oh, don't worry. The first movie to look forward to is Avengers: Age of Ultron. Yes, they're back with more action to bring you to the edge of your seat. Tony Stark's attempted to create a peacemaking program. However, things didn't go as planned and the villain Ultron has to be stopped. Check it out.
There are no strings on me.
Oh my gosh, I just love action-packed movies. Avengers: Age of Ultron will be released in theaters Friday, May 1st. Just like the Avengers came back together, do you know what other squad is reuniting? The Barden Bellas. The squad from Pitch Perfect is back for a second movie. The Bellas are aiming to win another competition. Can they win?
gonna kick your ass.
I'm sorry, I don't speak loser. What did you say?
She actually speaks 8 languages, but Lusa is not one of them.
I will do whoever it takes in order for us to get back to the top.
You mean whatever it takes?
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Every Bella must christen the house by sliding down the staircase.
Let me show you. Crushed it.
This film will be released in theaters Friday, May 15th. Mark it down. You don't want to miss it out. If you really love the movie 50 Shades of Grey, your opportunity to have it as your own is soon. Play back all of your favorite moments with the click of a button. You will be able to experience the intriguing and seductive film right on your own television screen. This film will be available for purchase starting on Friday, May 8th. That's all I have for you this week. What would this world be without entertainment? Make sure you tune in next week for more entertainment news.
You might not think of a laundromat as a place for entertainment, but Anash Williams found that place that'll make you change your mind. He found a place in Soma to do your laundry, get a late night laugh, and a good burger.
Ruby Gale, oh my God! Wow, do I have a microphone? No, it's right here.
If you're looking for a place to call home
I am
every
so
third
loud.
Tuesday of the month, well, we found it for you. Brainwash. I spoke with the host of the Yum and Yummers event, and here's what she had to say.
I co-host Yum and Yummer. It's the third Tuesday of every month here at Brainwash. It's a cafe, it's a laundromat, it's an art gallery, it's a place of comedy. There's pretty much anything that you want. Every third Tuesday of the month, myself and Nicole Love, we host a comedy show, and we like to showcase our favorite Bay Area comedians.
For many, Brainwash is indeed a second home.
I live in the neighborhood, so I usually come almost every day or every other day. And it's been great, actually. I wouldn't keep coming here.
Located in San Francisco's Selma district, the event showcases many comedic talents all throughout the San Francisco and Bay Area.
Comedian, I've been doing it for about 4 years. And Brainwash, just like as a comedy institute, it's great for people coming up in the comedy game because it's so hard to go to comedy.
I started doing comedy at Brainwash. This was one of the first open mics I ever did, and there's just like a tradition of comedy at Brainwash Cafe.
More than just a laundromat, more than just a cafe, but a place where you can laugh, enjoy friends, have a beer, and eat some food. For more information on this event and other events, visit brainwash.com. In San Francisco, I'm Anash Williams for KART News.
No justice for the blind that's not a saying. I don't think anybody's.
Now you know where I'm going to be every third Tuesday night. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of Academy of Art University's KART News. For everyone here, thanks for watching. I'm Connor Smith.
And I'm Vianney Austin. Have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back next week.